let's remove this and maintain the business activity for materials, which is mat1. Okay. Ensure that this change request type also assigned with the reasons, change request reasons. It is not there, so I can quickly maintain. Okay, so now let's go ahead and see. Let's close this, uh, refresh, and create material. Let me go to F4, this one, and here we go. Okay, and now she can add her relative fields. Okay, so there is what it is showing that it is missing. So you can go ahead and add the field. Okay, so that is the way. Okay, so now move it to the next detailing. So last week we talked about material. So this week we are going to see with business partner and supplier. Okay, more or less same sort of things, but with business partner and supplier. So what is that? Let me go to the data model and business partner. So the first thing, we maintain these two entity type. One is for Z info record, another one is for Z matna. Z info record is, if I see the detailing, it is nothing but a type 4. It's a type 4 entity type, and it's a pure entity type, not behaving as an attribute. And then if we scroll down in this entity type, we can see the active area, which has been maintained as a custom active area, which is MDG, standard active area, and description, which is purchase info record, and the structure. Now, what is this structure? This is nothing but the generated structure for field property activities. That means this entity type, whatever we have, this entity type relative attributes, that is directly associated with this structure. Okay. Now go to the attribute level, and this particular entity will have only one attribute, that is Z purchase block, and this is the data element. Now this is one entity type. The another entity type we have, that is a matner, and matner is type 3, and it is having the data element. That means it is behaving as an entity type, also as an attribute. If I go down, so this is just attribute, and relationship. So this is the business partner. So business partner means BP underscore header, which is a leading entity type, which is in a relation with Z info record, which is a leading relationship, and the cardinality is 1 is to n. Okay, cardinality. Now, the another one is the relation between the Z Matner and the Z info record, which is obviously the qualifying because Z Matner is type 3 and Z info record is a type 4. So, which is a qualifying relations and 1 is to n relations. Okay. So, once this has been built up, now remember, I maintain this is slightly different than the previous one. So previous one for reuse mode and this one I want to see as a flex mode, right? So we already came to know by this time what is flex mode, what is reuse mode. I'm not getting to that again. So as I want to maintain this as a flex mode, so the next thing which I need to do that is generate the data model specific structure. Okay, it is already open. Hmm. So I'm selecting business partner. So structure. So the structure which I maintained here that was for Z info record. Now if you search here Z info record, you cannot find this. The reason is I did not save this structure. But the moment you see, if you come to the data dictionary and if you search for this relevant structure for Z info record, you can find it. So here, let's say PP1 first. This is the one. So source structure for PP mapping, Z info record, where we have material number, we have business partner header data, and then we have purchase block information. So that is one. Another one is for field property. Similarly, this is the one for field property. For material for purchase block information, BP header. Okay. So then once we generate this, now in this case we don't need the mapping. Why? Because it's a flex one. The previous one it was needed because that was the reuse one. Okay, that's the simple difference we have. Then move on. So now, then we can activate the data model and adjust the staging table. The next thing which is needed for here, that is to call the Genil model. Because in flex mode, particularly for business partner, we know that whenever we have a flex mode, we have to go with the Genil model, right? So in the Genil model, we maintain the enhancement, which is it says Z info record enhancement and the dependent record. Now there are two things. One is the dependent object, and the other one is the relations. It is more or less similar to the what we have seen in the data model. In data model also we first add the entity types attributes and then we maintain the relation. Same kind of a thought process we need to apply here. So dependent object, under the dependent object, so this is our dependent object we created with the right click, and here you can see, so the component is the Bupa component, and the object is Z info record in in small, and key structure. So this is a key structure created. It's a custom key structure, obviously. Attribute structure, here we place the PP structure details, and the root object is the BP root. And then the next thing is the root object, and then the relations. So here we have the relations. So there we just need to assign the object name, which is readinfo record. Then what happens? Whatever the relations we have with all different object, that will be part of this GNL model process. So in GNL model, mainly we create the dependent object and the relations. Once this is created, then we need to move it to the next, that is the UI part. In UI part, what we did, we basically call SEAT, and the package, which is mdg underscore bs underscore bp, bs underscore bp, uh, BOLUI. Then go to the WebDyn Pro, then FPM application, then BP, FPM application, and this is for supplier. Similarly, you can select business partner or customer. Now go to the start configurator. So in the start configurator, go to the, if I go with the change mode, it is not going to allow me to change because it's a standard object provided by SAP. So I cannot change any standard object. So what I need to do, I need to go to the display mode, and there I need to create the enhancement. Okay, and then I will continue this. So here now we are at the mm, main page. Similarly, you can see the adaptations and all. Now go to the BP section. But before going to the BP section, what we did, we created the enhancement. So this is the enhancement name. Okay. And there I have created this UIBB. Okay. So now one question probably may arise, that whenever I will have any custom field, whether I need to always create a new UIBB, because in couple of examples, I for custom fields I use the new UIBB. The answer is no, not really. It is all depends on how your requirement is. If your requirement says that within the standard UIBB you need to incorporate your field, that you can do that. Or if it is asking for a new UIBB, accordingly you have to deal with. Yeah. So here I just shown you that this is the new UIBB created, and this is the configuration ID which I have maintained. Now go to the configure UIBB section. More or less same story what we have seen in material scenario. One thing to save. Okay, save. Okay. Now go to the general section, and then I have to maintain the feeder class. So this is the feeder class. CLMDG and edit parameters. So this is the component is the Bupa component, and the object name is nothing but the Z info record, and enable, whether you want this structure to be enabled or disabled. Obviously enable, so I just take it. Continue. Now you can see the moment you enter this what it called that dependent object details. Okay, So automatically the respective fields will be part of it. So you can see this is the action fields, this is the business partner ID, this is material number, this is central purchasing block, changes, etc. Okay. And UIBB schema level. So this is a preview, obviously, and this is the schema level. Business partner ID, material, central block, purchasing. These are all. Okay. And then go to the toolbar. In toolbar, you can see that I have created a new button. However, the new button was there, but I created one. That's what you can see, two new buttons. So I should not do that because by default, the new and the copy, these two buttons were there. Okay. Anyway, so then go back and again continue with the display mode and go to the toolbar schema. So in the toolbar schema, basically we create the buttons here. So you can see I have created a new button. Uh, where is that? This one. Okay, the new button. And if you want to see more detailing about this, go to the attribute detail. Okay, so here you can see the data element ID, the the visibility, the text, and the image, the icon of the button, how it will look like, and the configuration ID, etc. And then schema. 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 Okay. So in the word schema, here we have. So this is our web schema details. Again, I can go for this attribute details. So this is the component, this is the list component, configuration ID, and the source component, the source configure name, and the connector class, and the connector parameters. This is the relationship name. The relationship name which went in the GNL model. This is the name. Okay. And it will be always creating with the default values. Okay. And how it will be look like the preview. Let me show you. This one. Configure UIBB. Here we go. So this is how the action, business partner ID, material, central purchase block changes. That is all. This is how it will be look like as a part of UIBB. So more or less same sort of things what we have seen there. And this is the new button. By using clicking this new button, you can get the new fields. Okay. Anyway, I don't have any supplier CR types and all, so I need to create that. So I just shown you this one. So probably you can check and execute from your end. Okay. So this is the one. Now today, the most important thing which I am going to discuss, that is, so far we have talked about like how we can add the custom attributes or custom entity types on UIBB. But the next important thing is that it's not just adding the fields on UI. Also, you need to do a lot of field manipulations, the UI field manipulations. Like for an example, so I have some list with me. So like uh, how to make the field mandatory, how to make certain field grayed out, how to make certain field not visible, how to make certain field F4 values or search help values, how to make certain field default values, how to create the derivation techniques. These are all things. Okay. This is another sort of activity which will be coming with UI. And you can take my word that in almost every project it will repeat. So if you work in one project, that will help in multiple projects. Okay, might be the requirement will be here and there, but uh, the theme will be remain same. I mean to say. Okay, now I want to show you something. Let's go and execute some activity. Okay, now I'm going to the create material. By the way, this logic has nothing to do with material or business partner or any other domain. It is like a the basic means this basically we are going to deal with some ABAP logic, some object oriented ABAP logic. So it does not matter whether this is for material or whether this is for a BP. Just we need to identify the right feeder class and we need to write the logic behind it. Okay. So I'm just using, so this is one change request I have already made. So, okay. Now, few things. One is you can see that material group, if I click on check button, it is saying, please enter the material group field. However, it looks like a warning message, but it is not because it will work as a mm, error message. Okay. And also you can see the enter the value mandatory field material type industry sector. These are all things. So basically what I'm trying to say, base unit, any material you create, the base unit of measure and material type and industry sector. These three things are mandatory. But material group is never a mandatory field. Then how it is appearing as a mandatory field? The reason is we made it programmatically to make it as a mandatory field. Okay, so that is one thing. Second thing is one particular field which is not you can't see at this moment, that is right now invisible. I will come to that. So let's come one by one. So two, three things. How to make one field mandatory, how to make one field grayed out, how to make one field invisible. Okay. So these three things first we can see. Let's say authorization group. This authorization group, this field right now editable, right? I will make it as a not editable or grayed out. So first I need the authorization group field technical name. So how I will get the technical name? Right click on it, technical help, go to the component configurations, and this is how the layout is look like. Authorization group, select this item and click on the attribute details. So this is the field name. So I can note it down somewhere. Okay. Also, you can see old material number. Though this field is part of this design screen, but it was not there in the front screen because it has been hide. So what is that field name? BISMT. So this is authorization group, and this is old material number. Okay. Now, now the first thing is those fields where I want to do this manipulation activity, the respective feeder class we need to identify. So the respective feeder class means where I will go to the respective UIBB. So this is one UIBB and here is the respective feeder class. So now this feeder class I will copy. Okay. And this is a feeder class, that means it's nothing but a global class. So the transaction for this is AC24. So let's go to AC24 and display this. And now you can see under this class, there are a lot of different methods we have. And obviously every method having some certain reasons to have it. But uh, remember that this feeder class, mainly whatever the method we have, out of that, there are mainly three, four methods which are primarily required. Rest of the methods are not necessary in a regular basis. Okay. And what are those three, four methods? First method is the get data. Get data is for receiving the data or extracting the data. Extracting the data from where? Extracting the data from the system, or rather from the change request. Okay. Then get definition. Basically, any descriptions, any messages, if I want that detail, we can get it from here. Then process event. Let's say I want to apply some event activities. Then I can utilize that, or rather, I can say any particular specific conditions I want to apply, that I can apply here. Then change field definition. Change field definition means, let's say that whatever the standard characteristics one field have, if I want to change that particular field characteristics, then I can go ahead and come and write it here. So majorly these four methods: process event, get data, get definition, and change field definition. These four methods are mainly required. I'm not saying that the rest of the methods are not at all required. It will be, but